think I miss the Drake that was rapping for the rappers. I miss the Drake that when he dropped, the rappers hit him. Not these little fucking kids. I don't give a fuck about you and Kai Cenat. That's gonna sound like hate.
It is.
It's not hate.
It's not hate. It is. It's not hate.
Go find some niggas your fucking age. Hang out with them. Get some of that sauce.
That's not what keeps you. That's not what keeps you popping.
Older niggas
Fuck
buying
these
music.
kids.
That's not what keep you popping. And if that's
exactly.
the game he playing, I gotta play this game.
All the older
poppin'.
niggas streaming music
Dog.
and buying it, Joe. No,
Dog,
Them niggas listen to old school shit all day.
All that shit y'all saying for me applies to the field. I have long before called this nigga the golden child. Different set of rules apply.
Correct.
He's him. He is not one of them that y'all telling me about. I don't hold him there.
Dog, this album is going to be the most streamed album in Spotify history. Why?
When you that,
even if it ain't good.
When you that book, golden, you got the glow. You feel it when you got that glow. When you that, you ain't, nigga, you walking in with the glow. I do what I want, and that's what's going to be popping. Whatever I want is going to be popping.
So where's the motivation then? With what you just said, where's the motivation? Great point. If I could do whatever I want to do, and it's gonna pop, it's gonna be number one, it's gonna do all of this. Where is the motivation?
That wasn't what I was saying, but that was the double.
I'm an anti.
But wait, that's not. It's like Yachty rapping. This is like he rapping for the children, and that's my dog. I had to look up how old this nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You only 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger niggas and stop fucking these 25-year-olds. I'm listening to the album.
You mentioned it.
Why are you still fucking the 25-year-olds? You're a 37-year-old billionaire. I get it that you appeal to the world.
When stay current.
I get it that you appeal
Niggas
to
don't
the
wanna
world,
grow
and
up.
part of that is
Niggas don't want to grow up.
But that's what I'm loving
They wanna
about
stay
Cole.
young.
Like my shit is happening in reverse. Like with Cole, he used to rap about kid shit. I'm a grown ass, like real Jersey City nigga. I don't want to hear how you lost your fucking virginity. And then he started to grow up.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Life as We Know It. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. As always, we got great content on the way. Great content again today. Today we're doing the in-depth Drake album review For All the Dogs. Let's jump right into it. Now, I think it's fair to say that Drake is by far an artist that absolutely needs no introduction. Everybody knows who Drake is, but for the purpose of content, for the purpose of doing the video, giving this man his flowers while he's here, I'm going to do an introduction of who Drake is. Drake, whose full name is Aubrey Drake Graham, is a Canadian rapper, singer, songwriter. He's an actor. He's a businessman, entrepreneur, so many different ventures, alcohol. I've seen him on a show investing in collectibles. So this guy is well-rounded all the way around in terms of what he does. He first gained his prominence as an actor for the popular show. On the role he played as Jimmy on Degrassi: The Next Generations. I think it came out early 2000s, but if you were a Degrassi fan, make sure you guys let me know down below, correct me. He's known for his versatile and innovative approach to hip-hop and R&B. He seamlessly blends the two styles and has created his own signature sound. There's so many people that have tried to imitate this sound of Drake and just be Drake, and it's just not the same. Drake is like, his own individual. He has tons and tons of projects. We could go from his mixtape and work its way forward, but we're going to focus strictly on albums here for the sake of this topic. His first album, which was Thank Me Later, released in 2010. He followed up with that album with Take Care in 2011, followed by Nothing Was the Same in 2013. Really great album. His head was in the clouds. I think it was a really dope project. He followed up with this in 2015 with What a Time to Be Alive, followed by the mixtape If You're Reading This Is Too Late, which was very fire. He followed up with this in 2016 with Views, which was, like I said, another great album. Drake's dropped a care package on us. He dropped More Life. Scorpion. We got Dark Lane demo tapes in 2020, which was really slept on. A lot of people were saying it was trash, and I think it's lived up to the hype and has definitely lasted. A lot of good songs on there. He followed up with an EP, Scary Hours 2. Not really a mixtape or anything of that sort, but 2 really good songs, 3 really good songs if you really want to say it. I think all 3 were fire. Followed by Certified Lover Boy in 2021. Honestly, Nevermind in 2022. He dropped another tape in 2022 with 21 Savage, the collab tape Her Loss. And now we're here for All the Dogs in 2023. So jumping right into the disses. Now I'm just going to say it, Drake took a lot of disses on this album. I've counted at least 13 people that I feel like he's taking shots at. If you feel like I missed anybody, make sure you guys let me know down below. I'm going to get started with the very first song, Virginia Beach. He jumps right into it and says, drawing conclusions like you got a Parsons degree or something. And keep in mind, the next bars, I could have treated you better. That's crazy. Nope. And then the song starts. Now, if you don't know, Rihanna actually received an honorary degree from Parsons School of Design back in 2017. It was for her philanthropy and her contributions for design. If that's not a direct bar at Rihanna, I don't know what is. Follows up to the Rihanna disses and A$AP Rocky disses on Fear of Heights, where, he jumps right into it. He says, better it's not me, or better him than me, better it's not me. I'm anti, yeah, and the sex was average with you. Yeah, I'm anti because I had it with you. Okay, I'm auntie like your daddy's sister, auntie like a family picture, and I had way better bitches than you, to be honest. Yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you. Y'all go on vacations. I bet it's Antigua. Now, the bar, yeah, that man, he's still with you. He can't leave you. Very direct bar, A$AP Rocky. I'm not going to say it's because of financial situations. I don't know Rocky's situation, but I'm sure he's balling out of control. I'm sure he got M's on top of M's on top of M's, just like Rihanna got the B for the billionaire. So, very clear diss. I mean, he says, I'm anti. Very popular Rihanna album, Anti. So, no hiding nothing subliminal there. He continues on the song by dissing what I believe is Pusha T and Pharrell. If you don't know, he dissed Pharrell on Meltdown, where, he said the bosses that hung up the Louis, they're not even wearing that shit. If you don't know, Pharrell's the designer for Louis Vuitton. But on this song, he says, Virginia, I pull up and chill. You can't come where I stay. Now, if you haven't seen the video of Pusha T in Toronto, where they are throwing stuff at stage, they're pretty much making it hard for him to do a successful show. I remember him saying there was a bunch of OVO guys in the crowd, which I'm not sure how true it is, but ultimately he's pretty much saying he could pull up in Virginia, but no one can pull up where he's from or where he stays. And yeah, I mean, very clear diss there. We all know he's been beefing with Pusha T for a while as well, so nothing there that doesn't surprise me in terms of the subliminals. And he continues. He goes on to the next song, and it's said that he's dissing X. It's not really a diss in my opinion. Sounds like he's clearing it up, but there's one part of the song where I can definitely see people taking it as a diss. He says, I wasn't there when they caught the body. TPS think that I bought the body. Internet swear that I bought the body. Take more than that to go pop somebody. Them niggas talk about somebody. So low-key, I'm happy they got somebody. Nigga, what? And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and insinuate and say that he did take that shot at X, pretty much saying he's happy that somebody got him. But I do think he's trying to clear his name here and say that he definitely didn't pay for the body. If you don't know, his name was definitely brought up in the case for the murders of XXXTentacion. And they tried to say that they were paid by Drake to take him out, which I think is super false. Drake's not spending his money on that. Drake has women he's paying for. Drake has private jets, villas, cribs. I mean, the list goes on. So I don't think that's necessarily a jab at X, but I do think that, he brought it up because his name was surrounding that. So he tried to clear it up on the song Daylight. Now, the next song on this actually really surprised me, especially because, I mean, it shouldn't surprise me. It's something Drake would do. He's done before. The entire Take Care album, for God's sake. But the entire song of Bahamas Promises is actually about a young lady by the name of Haley Karina. Now, Haley Karina is an Instagram model. She's an influencer. She has a brand. And it seems like she messed up Drake's Bahamas trip, and he's still salty about it. He's still in his feels about it. And essentially the entire song is about her. He starts off the song by saying Haley, and he just talks about their experiences and what he feels about her and, you know, all of that sort. So, I mean, another woman that he threw some jabs at, threw some shots at. I don't think these are as bad as the Rihanna ones, especially because Rihanna's a married woman with 2 kids. So it's like, dude, move on. Like, I understand it probably could have been you, but it is what it is. You got to just take the L and keep it moving. Drake continues to diss Rihanna on the song All of the Parties. I keep saying diss. It's not really a diss, but it seems like he's really reminiscing about their time together. He's really stuck on it. He says on All the Parties, guess it's time for me to cover up the shark. Now, if you don't know, it's been known for a couple years, really big in the industry. I guess Drake and Rihanna have matching shark tattoos. She did cover hers up in 2021, but it seems like Drake hasn't covered up his yet, and he's still reminiscing, holding on to it. I do think you should cover it up, Drake, if you ever watch my video. Shout out to you. I'd love to do an interview with you. But yeah, man, you definitely got to cover it up. You could get any woman you want. You just got to keep it moving, my boy. One of my favorite songs, and another song where he was taking shots at a lot of people, is 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Now, he starts off the verse by saying, you young boys take some of that money and set it aside. Not having enough to pay your taxes is a federal crime. Now, to me, this was a shot at Young Boy, or at least a wordplay on Young Boy. I mean, you young boys take some money and set it aside. Not having enough to pay your taxes is a federal crime. Very clear wordplay on Young Boy. He followed up with this bar by also taking shots at who I believed was Charlemagne, when he said, you niggas obsessed with me and it's not no hetero vibe. Handle beef so quiet, you think I'm letting it slide. Now, the handling the beef so quiet piece, I think that's a little bit of a Kanye diss. Next thing you know, we tiptoeing past enemy lines. Diss me so long, we making your memories fly. So I'm like, ooh, you know, when I heard that, kind of gave me Kanye vibes. I felt like he kind of just line per line dissed everybody he wanted to diss. Young Boy, but I'm not quite sure it's Young Boy. It could just be a wordplay, especially since J. Cole shouted out Young Boy and said he wanted to do a song on First Person Shooter. So I definitely think the You Obsessed With Me is a Charlemagne bar, and then to handle the beef, and next thing you know, we tiptoeing past enemy lines is definitely a Kanye point. He's netted and, you know, he's amended his issues with a lot of good music artists. There's also another subliminal at Kanye later in the verse where, you know, he says you forced a lot of fake love when real ones stood in your face. That's why you got deserted by your niggas like pudding and cake. I got you on camera bowing down, but the footage is safe. Thank God another USB to put in the safe. So, I mean, I think ultimately what he's saying here is Kanye was probably giving him praise, hopefully, and it's probably some type of footage never before seen to the public. Maybe some exclusive studio footage from a session or so where Kanye's probably praising Drake and shouting out Drake for everything he's done. But I definitely think that you forced a lot of fake loves and your team deserted you is definitely Kanye. We just saw his good music label fall apart. I have a video where I show the footage of Kanye spazzing out at his good music label saying that he doesn't want to be good music anymore. So I could definitely see that being definitely a big Kanye diss, especially considering the history with those two. Drake doesn't seem like the type to just let something slide, even though, you know, their beef is supposed to be squashed. I could definitely see them still going with it. So on the next song, Another Late Night, Drake actually clears up some rumors related to Millie Bobby, where before they were trying to say that he was messing with a young girl and he was grooming him and all of these other weird allegations. So glad he cleared that up. He said my bank account is Magnolia Millie rocking, which is obviously a shout out to Playboy Cardi. Weirdos in my comments talking about some Millie Bobby. Look, bring them jokes up to the game, we get to really flocking. So I think that's definitely like him clearing it up. Like, it's not a joke, or at least to him it's a joke. That's not what he's doing. He's clearly not into that. He's into grown woman teens. So you guys got to stop with those allegations if you ever did throw some. He also throws some shots at A$AP Rocky here, where he continues later in the verse and he said, I ain't pretty Flocko, bitch, this shit get really rocky. Hey, what? Damn, what? And I mean, ultimately, he's been throwing shots at Rihanna the whole time. And, you know, he's had a couple, you know, jabs at Rocky, but it seems like right here, he really wanted to direct some shots at Rocky as well. I thought the two were cool. I know Drake bought him a chain, so not quite sure when the two fell out, but, you know, hopefully these three can fix their issues, because it's really three people: Rihanna, Drake, Rocky. I'm not sure what the past is, but hey, hopefully they figure it out. The verse continues, and Lil Yachty decides to throw some shots at Bobbi Althoff. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I'm not really a fan of her anyway, so I'm not too pressed about clearing it up, but if I did get it wrong, please let me know down below in the comment sections. And in the verse, Yachty essentially says, boost a white bitch up, and now she thinks she really popping. I think it's very apparent. I saw the Bobbi interview clips from her and Offset's interview. I'm not sure if it's her gimmick to act like she doesn't care, or if it's her gimmick to act like she doesn't know who the people are, but definitely seems like she's not really into a lot of the interviews that she does, which I don't think is cool. Why bring people on to interview them? But I also don't agree with men taking shots at women, but I'm gonna leave this alone. Definitely Yachty taking a shot at her. If you don't know, they did an interview together immediately after Drake's interview, so yeah, very clear shot at her there. The next diss takes place on the song Away From Home. Away From Home, I think, is a really good song, but Drake went crazy with the disses. It's actually the last song where I was able to find a couple disses from or for. The first one being for a designer by the name of Mike Raphael. He pretty much says, I remember Mike designed the album, he sued the fucking guys, and he's ducking until now. I mean, pretty straightforward. Seems like he tried to screw over Drake, and it didn't work. Somebody's on his ass currently trying to find him. So lesson out there, if you don't know, kids, definitely be mindful of what type of business you're doing, who you're doing business with. Stay away from people that are shady, and just try to keep your name good out here. You don't want to be a person that's being hunted down or looked for because you screwed somebody over. He continues to throw shots, or really just address issues, address feelings. This was a really good song, by the way, too. And Drake really opened up. He talks about Dr. Dre sent a nigga home that took patience, 4 Grammys to my name, 100 nominations, which is crazy. I mean, I couldn't imagine an artist like Dr. Dre passing up on a Drake, especially considering where Drake is now. But you know, your potential doesn't always shine in the beginning. Sometimes it just takes people, you know, other people seeing you or other people working with you for them to pull that out of you. So it seems like it worked out for him, but I believe he took some shots at Kendrick on this song as well. He says, I try to keep it humble, I'm trying to keep it gracious. Who gives a fuck? Michelle Obama put you on her playlist. Then we never hear from you again like you was taken. Who the CEO of Universal? They mistaken, because Google's saying Lucian, but that just doesn't make sense. So Drake was snapping here. The humble bar, the gracious bar, definitely a jab at Kendrick for his damn album when he made Humble. I mean, Michelle Obama did put Kendrick on the playlist as well. Also to note, Drake was not on this playlist. So I think it's very apparent that Drake doesn't like Kendrick. I know Kendrick did throw some jabs on him and never released, but we heard on his Element song that was initially supposed to release, he took shots at Drake, he took shots at Jay Electronica, took a lot of jabs. So I'm not too surprised here that Drake somewhat responded, or, you know, that he just said something in general. He seemed to be letting out a lot of feelings and throwing a lot of jabs on this album. Now, a lot of people have been going around saying this album is mid. First and foremost, the album just came out, so how do you already have a fully formed opinion to say, oh, it's mid, it's mid, it's mid? And you know, you probably only heard it 1 or 2 times, probably weren't really listening. And you know, I actually saw an interesting meme about this that they called the Drake album cycle, where they said a new Drake album drops, everybody says it's the worst album of his career, it's nothing like Take Care, oh, we missed the old Drake, oh, same old, plays old Drake, you know, goes back to even previous albums. And I'm not saying Take Care, I'm saying previous albums like Certified Lover Boy or Western Road Flows and all these other songs and stuff. But you know, then they come back and they say the last album he dropped was actually good. I Was Sleeping plays the new album. Drake announces another album is on the way, and essentially the whole process starts back over again. Now, I do think the word mid is overused a lot, especially with music. I don't think there is a lot of good music out right now. There's a lot of artists dropping albums, and they'll probably never be played again. Probably didn't get played for a very first time on some people's phones. However, to say that a Drake album is mid or Drake didn't come with some shit, I think you're delusional. I think you need to go reevaluate whatever you're listening to. One thing for certain, two things for sure. Drake is always going to deliver, and he delivers the best of the best. He's one of the best of the best. And, you know, the production quality on this album is phenomenal. The features on this album are phenomenal. Not too many features, but a lot of surprises. I was really surprised to see Chief Keef featured on here, but even his part on there was fire. I like the sample on that 7969 where he's in the background. I don't like. So I thought that was hard. J. Cole, off rip, very fire song. Tizo, Touchdown. I already said it, but his review is on the way. 21 Savage, SZA, Party Next Door. Even, like I said, the Sexy Red song, it was fire. So I don't think he overdid it with the features. I think the lyrics were on point, as we've just dissected. So many disses, so many lyrics to just dissect and really think about. So I think overall, this is a really good album. It may not be his best album. It may not be his most popular album, but this is a damn good album. So I'm going to give it an 8 overall. Now, I know that you guys might be like, oh, it's good. Why not a 9? Why not a 10? The only reason why it's not a 9 or 10 really to me is just because this isn't his best body of work. Now, it's his most recent. It's a really good body of work. Would I like to hear more from this? He doesn't need a deluxe or anything of that sort. I know he's taking a break from music as well for a while to focus on health. And, you know, I'm hoping Drake is good. Prayers out to you. But, you know, ultimately, I don't think this is his best project, but this is not his worst project. I personally think Drake's worst project is Sorry Nevermind. I think he named it Sorry Nevermind for a reason. He knew it wasn't going to have a lasting effect. It was almost like an experimental album to see what he could do, push his limits, try something new. I also forgot to mention that there was a bar on here that I felt like it was a diss to The Weeknd. I don't know how I forgot it. It was such a major bar. It was also on all the parties. And he essentially said, my bitch is playing P&D in them. Them shorties don't listen to The Weeknd or to Weeknd. So I think that's a big diss at The Weeknd. I know they've had the feud for a couple years and have been going back and forth. But I had to make sure I noted that bar. I felt like it was a super important bar to mention, especially because we're still talking about this album. And yeah, overall, I think the album was really good. I think this album will definitely have a lasting effect. I think it'll last longer. I think it'll have more replay value than Sorry Nevermind or Honestly Nevermind. I keep saying the name of it wrong, but Honestly Nevermind, Drake should have never put that album out. Easily the worst album in my opinion that Drake has put out, but I think For All the Dogs is going to be pretty good, and I give it an 8 overall. Make sure you guys let me know what you guys think of the album. This is Life as We Know It. If you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. We truly appreciate it, and once again, great content on the way. Great content again today. I'll be back with great content again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.